Okay. So this has been on my mind for the longest time, and I just need to say what I want to say. But I don't support the Black Lives Matter movement, and I'm kind of tired of just explaining to everyone and just kind of repeating myself, so I need to make it very clear and why I don't like it and why I don't support it. So I believe they had really good intentions in wanting to spread awareness for racial injustice and police brutality, but there's just, you guys have to realize that these occurrences, when it is police brutality and the victim is a black person, that they always get pushed in the mainstream media constantly, because I, along many other people, believe that it is just a political tactic and a way to keep us divided. I honestly see it as a divisive tool. It's very, easy for people to get caught up and emotional about things like this, and I'm very much aware that no person deserves to die in the custody of police, you know, um, especially when, they're innocent, or, it's just unjustly. But I think what people don't think about is that we don't have a way to know about every single interaction with a police officer and, citizens. So when we see things like Freddie Gray or George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or any of these black people killed in the custody of police, or, just a circumstance where they're interacting with the police, it creates a lot of hysteria and fear. And I'm just kind of sick and tired of seeing it happen. I'm a firm believer that police brutality isn't a racial issue, rather than a power issue. That, yes, it does need to be dealt with, and officers need to be held accountable at all cost, like, definitely. And I want to make myself very, very clear. Me not supporting the BLM movement does not make me anti-black, does not mean I hate my black side, does not mean I don't support black people, does not mean that I want to be white. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that I don't believe in the narrative that's being pushed and, publicized and, just kind of shoved down our throats. And I've been doing a lot of thinking to myself and just self-reflection on this stuff, and I just needed to say this. I don't want to yell anymore. I don't want to be frustrated about it. It's just, I know there are plenty of people out there who feel exactly the same, whether they're black or white or Asian or mixed race, just like me. I'm doing something. I'm almost done. I love you too. But yeah, in conclusion, just if you look at the BLM site, they're not a nonprofit. They claim they're nonprofit, but they're not. George Soros has endorsed them heavily, and if you're not sure who that man is, please look him up. Very interesting man, but yeah, they make it very clear that they, want to disrupt and dismantle the nuclear family, which is a two-parent home, mother and father, traditionally speaking, and then the children. But I don't know why people would agree for that. That's fucking ridiculous and so stupid, because fatherlessness is one of the number one reasons as to why there are so many issues in the black community, and that's a fact. And if you want to sit here and deny that, then you're just denying reality. I'm a product of, someone who didn't grow up without their father, and I resented my father for so long because of it, but I genuinely felt he didn't want me. I genuinely felt he didn't want anything to do with his kids, and for so long, about 16, 17 years, I really thought he didn't want shit to do with me, and I had it in my head that, I don't know, it's really weird, I know, but like, I could go on for like another hour as to why I don't support this movement. Just the complete disregard that BLM has for all of the women and children and men shot and killed in inner cities. People like David Dorn. He didn't get nearly as much recognition as George Floyd, and he was an actual hero. I don't think George Floyd was an outstanding citizen. I don't think he deserved death, no, but we cannot sit here and ignore the fact that this man was, in fact, a criminal, and this doesn't justify the fact that he needed to die, absolutely not, but I'm just saying, I think black people have, a habit of uplifting and praising people like George Floyd when they're unjustly murdered by the police, which I understand, but you have to remember that George Floyd wasn't... I know it sounds bad that we bring up his criminal past and his criminal record, but we do have to acknowledge he was not this outstanding citizen and not a perfect human being, and that's okay. I'm in no means trying to say that I'm better than him or that, oh, he was this or that. Like, absolutely not. My heart aches for him and his family, and the fact that his family were begging people to stop rioting and looting is so fucking devastating to me. And I don't know why I'm so emotional about this, honestly, but I think it's because I'm just frustrated with people. I'm so frustrated, and I've been wasting so much time arguing with people online about this shit and trying to get my points across, but it's like, it's kind of useless when people don't want to listen to your sides. No one's silencing me, but I feel like I'm being silenced when people just kind of disregard how you feel in your opinions about this, because, they're opposing, but it's like, you get labeled a racist and self-hating and all this awful shit if you don't directly, explicitly support this movement. And I'm not sorry that I don't anymore, because I never hear about BLM protest and rioting over all the people killed in inner cities like Chicago and, inner cities where crime and horrible stuff is so rampant. But I don't know, like I said, I could talk about this for hours, and I don't know, I don't expect anybody to agree with me. You're allowed to feel how you feel. We can agree to disagree, but this is what I personally believe. And just from seeing what I see, I think that a lot of people are using, BLM as a political statement, as a political tool, as just something to say they support just so they don't get called a racist, and I think it's completely ridiculous. if Black lives truly mattered, then I feel like people would have the same outrage towards David Dorn's death. But because his life was taken by another black man, I guess it's not relevant. I had someone straight up tell me BLM's main focus is to prioritize the black lives killed specifically because they are black. So would my life not matter right now if it were taken by another black person? Like, would it not be that big of a deal? And I am aware that I'm not full black, but I'm just using myself as an example because, I don't know, but I've been so overwhelmed and not necessarily stressed, but this has been on my mind for a very, very long time, and I just wanted to say it, because, I don't know, I'm usually not super emotional about things like this, but the same energy is not reciprocated when a black person is killed by another black person, and I just want to understand where the hell are all these protests for all these people, unjustly killed by their own people. I don't understand it, nor can I comprehend why we even have to have a movement in the first place. I thought Black lives always mattered. Excuse me. But apparently they only matter when they're taken, by another white person or specifically a police officer. And when we hear the same instances like of police brutality and people being unjustly shot, it doesn't get the same media coverage. It's not the same outrage. I don't know why. I'm convinced that, mainstream media, which is controlled by liberal and leftist, ideas and narratives, and you can't sit here and deny that because that is the truth. And our school systems are very liberal based, and, it's just kind of how we're brought up in some aspects. I have some liberal ideologies, but I am very conservative when it comes to abortion, illegal immigration, what else? I'm pro-gun. Like, I want to get a shotgun. I want my own handgun eventually when I'm old enough for that. But I digress. That's another topic. But I'm liberal when it comes to same-sex marriage. I don't care if adults want to adopt, as long as they're going to take care of the kids and obviously, raise them, properly and give them love and respect. I don't care if it's a gay couple, obviously, I'm in support for trans people. I believe they're real and I validate them 100%. I'm bisexual myself, so that'd be kind of ironic if I was against gay marriage and, not validating trans people because there's a science and biology behind it. So what reason would I have to deny that their existence, But yeah, I digress. But I hope this better explains myself and my stance on this movement. Yeah. I hope everyone's safe and just what we're going through right now is a really crazy, fucked up time, and I don't want to raise my children in a world like this, honestly. So I think it's adults and young people's responsibility to change the narrative and to stop being so obsessed about race, because when I meet a person, the first thing I think about is like, okay, are they nice or mean? Are they going to be like this or that? And I don't do that based off of their skin color. I just do that based off the content of their character and how the way they carry themselves and their demeanor and etc., etc., etc. Everything, but I don't care about their skin color, obviously, because my mother just didn't bring me up that way, and I'm glad she didn't. But I don't know. I don't want to have to. I don't. I just wish people weren't so obsessed about the color of their skin and other people's skin color. And I'm just really exhausted. I'm mentally and emotionally exhausted with all the stupid bullshit I've been seeing with everything. And it's just kind of pointless to try and have a civil discourse, because some people refuse to hear your point and, try and find a middle ground. I don't know, but this is just from my heart. This is me. This is how I genuinely feel. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. I respect that. That's your right to disagree with me, and it's my right to say what I want to say about this. So if what I say is, bothering you, then I don't know what to tell you. If you're offended about what my dumbass has to say, then I don't know. Like, why are you so worried about what the hell I think? And it'll be the same people who say, I'm willing to listen to minorities' voices and people of color's voices, but they'll be so quick to shut you down if you have an opposing view or side or opinion about anything, or you're openly conservative. And it's just so funny to me, because they preach tolerance and they preach acceptance and inclusivity, yet they'll exile you essentially if your viewpoints or one of your opinions doesn't fit their narrative or their talking points. And it's so disingenuous. It's so phony. It's so childish. It's so ignorant. It's so asinine. That's really all it is. And I shouldn't be stressed out about this. Honestly, I shouldn't. But yeah, I hope this better explains myself and my stance. Y'all be safe, and happy 4th. I'm so blessed and fortunate for where I am at in life, and I try not to take anything for granted. I really don't, because I wouldn't trade my position right now for anything, honestly. I've got it so good than a lot of people here, and I think some people just need to humble themselves and realize that they've got it so much better, and that this country really isn't as bad as some people think it is. If you really hate it that much, then save up enough money and get the hell out of here if you genuinely feel that way, Go to another country and tell me if it's any better. That's just how I feel, I would never want to leave this country, ever. Because I don't think I'd ever have the opportunities, or, I don't know. This country's just, it's not perfect, and it's definitely not, doesn't have a clean history. There's definitely a nasty, horrible, disgraceful history. But I think that's the beautiful thing about this country, is that we can acknowledge that we did awful, horrible things to people for so long, specifically black people for centuries. But look where we are now. Like, I personally feel we've progressed a lot. And if you don't think the same, that's fine. You can disagree, but I don't know. That's just how I feel. But yeah, I'm gonna end this right now because it's pretty long. But I hope this, gives y'all a better idea of how I perceive things and what I believe personally. So yeah, y'all be safe, and I don't know, just please educate yourself on things before saying things that just aren't true, especially if you don't have any evidence or anything to cite it with.